Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Modern Toyfare Reviews. This one is being posted in the middle of the week because it is a very special episode. I was able to get the Neca Walmart Exclusive Raphael and Casey Jones 2-pack thanks to my co-host on Modern Toyfare News at Jamar_games. He was able to get that shipped out to me. It didn't arrive in time to put it up as Monday's review, so this week you get two episodes. You've got the Mezco Batman Kit Bash on Monday, and now you've got this one as well, and we will still have a new episode for you the upcoming Monday, so make sure to tune into that. Let's get right into it. First off, we're going to take a look at Casey Jones. You'll notice that his mask is pretty sleek, not a whole lot of sculpting detail, just enough to kind of make it imposing depending on how the light hits it. It looks real smooth, real sleek. I really like it. You will notice that if you kind of tilt him up, you can kind of see his eyes. I don't know if I'll be able to get it on camera, but they did sculpt the actor's face underneath there. Someone has taken off the mask and confirmed it. That just due to legal issues, they couldn't get him to sign off on the rights to his likeness and be able to give us an alternate head. We're gonna flip the figure around now. If you notice, the detailing is pretty incredible. You've got the straps to the mask that go back through his hair and kind of leave a little bit of an impression. It does go back and just kind of disappears in between all those luscious locks. A lot of detailing goes into the hair as well. The individual strands, it absolutely looks incredible. On his shirt, you've got a lot of textures, a lot of wrinkles. It really kind of brings it to life, makes it look realistic. The denim vest looks fantastic. You'll notice he does have some molding on his arms for hair. It does have a little bit of a wash, but not a whole lot. Shirt is down at the bottom's all wrinkly. His sweatpants are just textured enough to kind of make it so you can tell they're sweatpants, but they don't have a whole lot of detail until you get down towards the bottom. You'll notice it has some wrinkles. It does have the elastic. Even his socks have the little elastic stripes in them as well. Shoes wise, just plain black sneakers, which isn't surprising because I wouldn't expect Casey Jones to be a very fashionable fellow if he's running around in gray sweatpants and a denim vest. The gloves also are sculpted over the hands, so you have the openings in the wrist area and in the knuckles, and also a little bit of raising by the fingers. They did an absolutely incredible job with the sculpting on this figure. Now let's take a look at some of the articulation with this figure. NECA's kind of like a happy medium where it's got some really great points of articulation and some real okay, not great points. As far as the head goes, you do get the full swivel both left and right. There's not a whole lot of up and down motion here. I'll show you. Let me turn the figure sideways real quick. You got almost no up. You do get a decent amount down though, so you can kind of look down if you have a kind of elevated pose. Ab crunch, just enough to kind of get him hunched over, and a little bit of a back arc in case you want to take some pictures of him getting knocked over or something like that, or dodging. Nothing too crazy. The arms though, you get quite a bit. That's more than 90 degrees in my opinion of up. He does have the full all the way around swivel at the shoulder. The elbows, which I know a lot of people say these elbows are ugly, but they do get a crazy amount with that double joint. Wrists, same thing. You've got the forward and back motion plus the 360 degrees of twist. As far as his legs go, not a whole lot of up forward motion, almost no back. A little bit, but not a whole lot. Just enough to give him a walking pose. Decent amount for a single jointed knee. And as far as the ankles, this is where it does get a little disappointing because they twist back and forth, which is nice on the ball joint. They do have a little bit of forward and backward, not a whole lot, but they do not have the standard ankle pivot that we've seen with the other Turtles figures, which is a little disappointing. Now let's take a look at my personal favorite in the 2-pack, the Trench Coat Raphael. The first thing I want to look at is his hat. When you take it off, you'll notice there's a little hole in the back. What that is that way it goes over the knot on his bandana. You just kind of pop it on his head, and if you put a little pressure, you can kind of squeeze his bandana into it, and it makes it so it kind of stays on there. It doesn't fall off all the time, which is really nice because a lot of times when figures come with hats, they just kind of sit there and they'll slide or fall off with the slightest breeze. As far as the trench coat, this thing is pretty incredible. You've got little buttons sewn on. You have the little fake slots for those buttons. The belt, you actually can pull to keep it closed. You pull the strap through the little metal clasps. It does have a really long left side of the strap, so I had to tuck it back through the loops on the back of the jacket. As far as the arms to the coat, it does have little straps on the cuffs of his coat, which is nice. As you can see, it does have a few tethered strings you need to kind of cut off. The pockets, from what I can tell, I haven't tested it yet, but it looks like you'd be able to actually put his hands in the pockets if you use his flat hands, which is kind of nice. As far as the figure itself, obviously you've got his standard just Raphael figure underneath. Then finally you do have the backpack, which is just a simple rubber backpack with some rubber straps on it. Easiest way to get it is you move his arms forward. You can kind of put the backpack over his head and pop it off versus trying to like reach his arms back behind his shell. Now we're going to take a look at the articulation on Raph. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this just because it is still the same Raphael that we got previously. I just want to show you how it kind of is restricted a little bit and also still kind of looks nice while it's in the trench coat. So you still get the same amount of up as you would on the normal figure. It doesn't really hinder by the trench coat. As far as forward and back though, you'll notice it starts to tug on it. The higher up you go, the higher it takes the trench coat with it. Back, not as bad. As far as his elbow articulation, still gets pretty good articulation out of it in the trench coat. Nothing too terrible as far as restrictions. Doesn't really restrict his wrists at all, which is nice. As far as his ab crunch, now these turtles didn't have a whole lot of ab crunch to begin with, but trying to get the ab crunch while in the trench coat is pretty difficult. Head articulation still the same, quite a bit down, not a whole lot of up motion, which is also kind of hindered by the jacket. If you play with it a little bit, you can kind of get it the way you want. The legs move perfectly fine. The jacket kind of flows with it depending on which direction you have them, which is real nice. Same thing, the knee articulation, double jointed knees, doesn't really get any hindrance by the jacket. And as always, you have his ankle pivots, which are significantly better than Casey Jones, unfortunately. Both left, right, forward, back, all great, especially for posing this figure if you want to do anything kind of crazy or dynamic with your trench coat Raphael. Now I know most people are going to keep the trench coat on him, obviously, but just because that's the whole point of the 2-pack. However, I did want to point something out that I noticed when I took the trench coat off. This is the updated Raphael figure that comes out with the repacked 2-packs they're doing with Raph and Mikey and Leo and Donnie. As you'll notice, he does have the new bandanas that come down on each side instead of just the left or the right, which is really nice, especially considering as hard as this was going to be, trying to get the repacked versions of these figures just to get those new bandanas is going to be a nightmare. So I just kind of wanted to show that off. Now for the accessories. We're going to start with Casey Jones. He does come with the golf bag to hold all of his weapons. Not a whole lot of room in it, so you kind of have to finagle it to get them all in there. It does also come with that really nice kind of strap that goes around his shoulder, keeps it in place, which definitely, I always have to tuck it underneath his vest to kind of keep it from shifting around too much while posing. But we're going to take a look at some of his weapons. So you do have the goalie hockey stick, which there's tons of detail in the wrappings at the bottom of these hockey sticks, like especially on the ones with the white tape, like just has like kind of little dirt marks and looks really incredible. He does also come with just a standard normal hockey stick. This one does have just plain black taping, but even then they did a great job with the painting detail where it's light enough that you can still see it without it having to be like under a flashlight or anything like that. He did come with 2 of the Jose Canseco bats. You'll notice, the wrappings around them have some texture to them. The bats themselves, pretty smooth for most part. Didn't really notice like if there was any like graining or anything like that to make it look like wood or aluminum or anything. He does come with his cricket paddle or bat or whatever it is actually supposed to be called. Same things as the other accessories. The wrappings around it look absolutely fantastic. The only disappointing accessory is the golf club. It is a softer plastic instead of being hard, which is great because if it was hard and brittle, it probably break in the package. But it just kind of feels cheapy and kind of has, as you can see on camera, it wiggles a lot when you're holding it, and it just kind of doesn't really fit for me. Now we're going to take a look at his hands. I had the open hands for some of his weapons earlier already on the figure, so you saw those. So I do have the fists here. As you can see, the open knuckles, the open on the back of the hand sculpting for the gloves looks absolutely incredible. You get left and right for the fists. They did give you two sets of the open hands to hold things. One's a little wider, so I have to assume it's that way you have some for like the baseball bats and the golf club, and some for the hockey sticks, which are a little thicker, so that way eventually they don't loosen and then you can't hold them at all, which a lot of figures have that problem with larger accessories. Again, you get a left and a right of both of those hands. And then he has one last set of hands. This one almost looks like a puppet, like a hand puppet. Like, oh, look, my name's Raph. Like, not sure why we got that one. I guess it's kind of a resting pose. But this one's my favorite. I'm definitely be posing him with the L on his forehead, just like telling Raph he's a loser. Like, that hand is just absolutely incredible, and I'm glad they included it. Now we're going to take a look at Raph's accessories. He doesn't come with quite as much. He does come with his size. You get two of them, same detailing and paint as the ones we've got in the previous releases. Nothing too crazy change-wise there. You do have the pizza slice, which after seeing the movie again recently, it's incredible how Neca was able to like make this pizza slice movie accurate. It really is impressive. He does come with the other bandanas, the left and right leaning ones. Same amount of detail as they had in previous releases, same molding as the wrinkles going throughout them, plus then the knot at the top where it locks into the peg. He does have multiple sets of hands as usual. You've got his flat hands, which you wrinkles, green paint, always looks incredible. You go right and a left with those. You even got like the little fingernails and everything still. Same molding, just as we had in the previous release. And then you have his pointing slash sigh holding hands, left and right, just like before. You do have the little like one finger down, one finger like half down, the other one out, which is pretty nice. Alright, so that's going to wrap it up for this review. I do want to say these figures are very hard to find, so if you can't find them in Walmart and you have to resort to like Facebook groups or eBay, they are 100% worth the price tag. It does suck to have to pay aftermarket prices, but it's unfortunately just part of collecting, and especially in just the way things have evolved with exclusives. These figures are absolutely fantastic. I honestly would like to find more of them just so I can have a trench coat for each of my turtles and have all four of them on the shelf, just kind of casually walking down the street in disguise. But if you enjoyed this review, please make sure to like and subscribe. Hit the little bell if you want to get notifications for all of our videos. We do have Modern Toy Fair news that hits on the Fridays with me and at Jamar_games. We have the normal day for reviews going up is Monday, so make sure to check those out. This past Monday we did do the Mezco 112 Sovereign Knight Batman kit bash that I have. If you want to see more of my action figure photography, please follow me on Twitter and Instagram. It is at Modern Toyfare. We will be having a giveaway hopefully in the next few weeks, so make sure you follow us on social media because we'll more than likely announce it there first. Otherwise, hopefully we'll see you next week. Same toy time, same Toy Fair channel. Thank you.